I'm so sick of you all bullying me. They're like, Eric, you're saying penis patron. I said peanuts. I'm sorry, I have a big tongue. Peanuts. I didn't say penis patron. Goodbye, everybody. Bye. Have fun with your penises. Bye, everybody. Bye. You are no longer live. And we're done. Hey everybody, and welcome to a very special post-season show with one of your guys' favorites. It's Tommy. Now look, we have so much to get to on this show, but I need to let you guys know a few things first. Of course, if you've missed any of our previous shows, they're over on our website, yourrealityrecaps.com/bb21. You can see the shows with people like Nicole, Kemi, Sam, Cliff, everybody that we have had on already. This season, check those out. You can watch our daily live feed update shows to see what you missed that happened each day in the feeds, they're pretty amazing. Like, I don't know why more people just don't want more of the behind the scenes or the extra clips. Those are all in those daily live feed update shows, and so many people have been asking. So that's where those are. Of course, you can also get the flashback times for this season, find out what house guests we're having up next. Everything is on our BB21 page. Of course, you can check out all of our content from all the seasons of Big Brother. We've been covering it since like BB12. All the interviews, everything is on our website, as well as our Survivor, Amazing Race, Housewives, Bravo, just so much content on our website. Go over there, check it all out. Of course, you're watching live on YouNow right now, so make sure you become a fan here so you're alerted every time we go live. We have more house guests coming up this week, so if you fan here, it's completely free. You will be alerted every single time we go live, or if you subscribe, you can watch the shows back anytime after they end, as well as our thousands of shows that we have here on YouNow. Of course, we also go live every day on TV Co. It's where we do our reality TV recaps, so make sure you follow us over there. That is completely free as well. Both places are where you guys can watch these shows for free. And then, of course, they post on our website, and YouTube, and iTunes, and everywhere after. If you are watching them after, please thumbs up and subscribe if you guys are watching on YouTube. Leave a comment below, hit the bell, 5-star rating and a nice review in iTunes. That and sharing our content, putting it in places where people might not normally see it, telling a friend, having someone download it. Those are great free ways to help support our shows, and without that, we could not keep them going. Of course, if you want to help financially support our shows, consider becoming a patron. yourrealityrecaps.com/patron. Patrons get access to the patron-only Facebook group, prize giveaways, weekly shows just for patrons, and of course, the after shows with the house guests like Tommy. So that is the only way that you can see those. Of course, John's cooking shows, meal kit giveaways, so much more over in the patron group. You could also do a one-time donation at yourrealityrecaps.com/PayPal if you enjoyed our 24/7 live feed updaters or all we've done all season. That's a great one-time donation that you guys can do. Also, if you have any Amazon shopping to do, yourrealityrecaps.com/Amazon. You don't pay any more, and it really helps support our shows. And lastly, don't kill me, because now I'm giving back. You only have two days left to go and follow us on Instagram. Follow that post to win the Nicole unicorn slippers from our HOH basket. Oh my God, amazing. You guys need to go and do that at the end of the show. Don't leave now, but just remember for the end of the show. Or, pause and do it and then come right back. Whatever you guys need. But look, let's bring on the guy that you all want to hear from. It's Tommy. Hi, Tommy. How are you doing?
I'm really good. I'm really, really good. I really didn't before you go into the house, all you think about is the game. You think about what's going to happen in that house, the game. You don't think about the after.
Right.
But now that I'm out of the house, there's a whole new world that I didn't expect, and that it's kind of overwhelming. And because I'm in the entertainment industry, I wanted to stay out here and try and make some moves and see if I can capitalize on this time. So, you know, I've been talking to my family every day, and I can't wait to go home to them on Friday. But I'm glad that they got to come out here and I got to see them. But you know, I stayed out here with some of my best friends for a little bit first.
I love it. I love it. You do need to take time to decompress and to heal. And I agree. A lot of people need that, especially because there's going to be people like me that want to yell at you, Tommy.
Yell at me? Why?
Tommy, look. Let me just make it clear for everyone watching right now. This show going forward is for Tommy's fans to ask their questions. You guys can start tweeting me them with hashtag YRLive. You can leave them in the chat room. Lindsay's going to be grabbing them as well. I also meant to say really quickly that the #1 fan on this show is going to win a Tommy autograph photo. So make sure if you guys are battling for that. But as we're waiting for those questions to come in, yes, Tommy, I'm going to yell at you now.
Okay, I'm ready. Here we go. What do you got to say?
Why did you not fight for your life when Jackson was lying? All Nicole wanted, Tommy, Nicole just wanted you to just be like, he's lying still. But you didn't, Tommy, and why do you hate us?
Listen, all I got to say is that day was the craziest day in the house. Mm-hmm. That week was the craziest week in the house. Mm-hmm. Cried myself to sleep every single night that week in the hot room. It was actually, in some ways, it was my favorite week in the house because I really just was. It was Tommy at the core. Like there was no hiding behind my friends. There was no hiding behind bigger targets. It was just me, myself, and I. Mm-hmm. And you know, it was kind of nice to play Big Brother that way before I left. I was so exhausted from fighting all week. Mm-hmm. And I really thought that Nicole and Cliff believed me and were keeping me until 2 minutes before is when it switched. And here's the thing. That was a long day. Yeah. That argument, like you got the feeds cut out.
Oh, we
you
know.
Guys didn't see what went down. But there was a lot of he's lying. And Nicole and Cliff told me numerous times, we believe you. We believe you. So I was convinced that I was good. And I knew that it was switching back and forth.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, after the big blow up, the big fat lie, I keep calling it, after the big fat lie, the blow up, Nicole and Cliff came up to me and they said, we believe you. We're voting to keep you.
Right.
And that was 45 minutes before the live episode. So then 45 minutes before the live episode, Cliff and Nicole said they wanted to go up to Holly and Jackson and give them the courtesy of letting them know which way their vote was going.
In the bathroom.
It was in the bathroom. It was then that another blow-up happened.
Right.
At that point, I thought that the vote was secure. I thought that we were good. Right. They had just told me, we're good, we believe you, we know the truth. And I knew in my head that this would be a stupid move not to keep me, so I really just didn't think there was any chance that they wouldn't at that point.
Right.
But you know, it was so interesting to watch that whole argument unfold, the one in the bathroom, because I saw through everything that Jackson was doing, and I assumed that Cliff and Nicole did too.
Right.
Just I had been seeing through his stuff for weeks.
Yeah.
I thought that they had too. So that's kind of where it was coming from. It wasn't until Julie, the episode started airing. We were already live, and it was like a half hour into the episode that finally the producers of whoever came on. They were like, all right, you guys, enough is enough. You have to go take a seat right now. So I went and took a seat, and I was the first one there. I'm all, you know, they're all late. Mm-hmm. And I see Cliff and Nicole go talk to Jackson, and I see Cliff and Nicole go talk to Holly, literally 30 seconds before they sat down. And in that moment, I realized, oh my gosh, they just flipped again. Wow. So this is how it ends. Okay. And, you know, we were already going live. I was like, you know, at that point I was so exhausted. I thought that it was done. I was like, I got nothing left. I tried my best. And I knew that it, you know, yeah. So I didn't know what was going to happen with Cliff and Nicole moving forward, but I knew that it would have been a better decision to keep me, and if they didn't see that, then that was on them.
Yeah, on them, but it sucked for us because we knew, like, watching the live feeds after Nicole and Cliff said, like, that's what they needed. Like, just that one piece had, just that they felt, that you feeling that way, so they say,
Right.
it made them feel like, all right, he was lying, he knows it, he knows he got caught, it's over, versus if you kept that same, intensity of the kitchen of being so frustrated, that then they said they would have stuck with it. But here's what I
So
want to know. Well, go ahead.
first thing I'm hearing about that. So
Yeah?
this is my genuine reaction. I'm shocked. I'm like, wow, I really didn't know that. I thought that, yeah, I thought that they, doesn't matter. What were you going to say? I didn't mean to cut you off.
What I was going to say is, but what I wanted, because there was so much debate. Like you said, I pretty much think us on Twitter were literally going to burn Twitter to the ground, the fact that they cut the feeds off for all that. Like, we had all been up for, like, hours waiting to watch this finally unfold, and they cut the feeds off on us. But there was so much debate of what would have been better for Nicole's game, for your game, for Cliff's game, for Jackson and Holly's game. So what would you have done had you remained in the house? Would you have really stuck to what you said you were going to do? Like, would you have taken Nicole and Cliff? Would you have teamed back up with Jackson? Because that does seem like the smarter thing to do, would be to team back up with Jackson, since you're going against a duo, basically.
I honestly would have stuck with Cliff and Nicole. And it's because, I have so much respect for this game. And we were at the point, we're at the end. And I know I put myself in the shoes of the fans, and I know that they were rooting for the underdog.
Mm-hmm.
I know that wasn't Jackson this season. He's a competition beast. He's an amazing player. I voted for him. I had to. He's amazing. But I would have wanted an underdog to win my season. And we were, when we were in the beginning of the season, I was all happy to team up with the people that I thought would have taken me to the end.
Mm-hmm.
But once I got down to it, when we were in the final five, and if I gave my word, I would have stuck by Cliff and Nicole. And I know that they know the truth. They know that. I would have happily taken third place if it meant going with them versus breaking my word, breaking my deal. There was no world where I would have done that, honestly.
All right, well, we have to work on that for if you play again. But, okay. But no, I am glad. And honestly, I did believe you. I did believe that you were going to stay with them had it worked out that way. And I think it was more, and I told Cliff this and I told Nicole this, you were on Cliff's radar for so long. You were on Cliff's radar for weeks, even weeks before the wall chowder, which we'll get to that. But I feel like Cliff kind of manipulated. Like, Cliff knew he could have pushed Nicole either way, and he pushed her towards you because he saw you as the bigger threat to his game for some reason, in my opinion.
No, you're 100% right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I think happened.
Okay, so actually, you know what? Since we're talking about it, like, let's talk about that now. Because one of the big things that happened on social media, and then we did see, Cliff talking about it on the feeds, Nicole talking about it, is we found out during the season that whatever the story is, it doesn't matter, but somebody blasted the DR to the backyard of, Christy's DR, saying that you two are friends in the real world, and, yada, yada, yada. What was your reaction to finding that out?
Well, I was in the backyard with Cliff and Nicole when it happened, and what we heard was Tommy and Christy know each other it was a male voice. Tommy and Christy know each other for 7 years. Tommy and Christy have a business together for 3 years. And then the sirens went on in the backyard. So we didn't hear the DR session that was apparently aired. I never heard that.
Oh, good.
So, I mean, if that would have come through, there was no denying it. This was a stranger's voice that just spoke this into the universe.
Right.
And that's why, I mean, the truth is, Christy and I do not own a business together for 3 years. When I went inside and said to Cliff and Nicole, I am not lying. I am telling the truth. I don't even own a business. Like
Right.
it was half true what I was
Right.
saying. Like,
Right.
yes, we know each other, and also we know each other for longer than 7 years. We know each other our whole entire lives. We went to elementary school together, so
Yep.
it was not a lie what I was saying.
Right.
But it was really overwhelming and very scary, and I am very glad that it was Cliff and Nicole in that backyard that day because they are two of the most respectful,
Yeah.
integral players in that game, and I couldn't have gotten stuck with a better duo out there if I asked for one.
And I will say they have both said that in their interviews here that neither one of them were letting that affect their game at all in any way. And I was like, that's great, because I would have.
Yeah.
If I didn't have a target on Tommy at that point, I would have been like, oh, you and Christine, you're out. So, I mean, it is great,
Yeah.
and I do believe that. And I don't know if you've seen it. I'm sure people will tweet you the clips of it. But even Cliff, when the feeds came back on after, he basically was like, fans tried to influence the game, something happened, and we're not letting it affect our things, and you shouldn't do it. And for the record, I agree, just in case anybody's watching. I think it's one of the stupidest, most hypocritical, idiotic things for people to do, to be like, we don't like production messing with the game, so now we are instead. Just shut up. You're losers. I don't like when people mess with the game. It ruins the integrity of the game more than anything else when people start doing that. And I want Big Brother to stay around for forever.
I couldn't agree more. That's exactly how I feel.
It's quite frightening.
It felt so violating, honestly.
Yeah.
It was violating.
Because here's the thing. You and Christy had nothing to do with it. So to ruin your guys' game over a decision that everyone knows Big Brother is expect the unexpected and it's production that makes these twists, it's a personal attack on your guys' games. And then, yes, there can be people that say they don't like you or don't like Christy. Okay, but then it's going to happen to someone you do like one season, and then what? So
100%.
Just be fair about it across the board is all I'm saying.
I completely agree. Yeah, message to all those people out there, anyone that ever considers doing that, just don't, please. It's not fun for anybody.
No, and it takes away yard time.
Integrity of the game, you're right.
It does.
Exactly what it is.
And I care about it more just the fact of it's going to make it where Big Brother as we know it fundamentally gets changed. Like, people that love this game, they're going to do it where I swear it's going to happen that you guys are not going to be allowed outside unless it's monitored or there's things happening. They're going to cut the feeds from us because then they're always going to worry, well, we can't have the feeds on when that happens because then that's co-signing it happening and we're going to lose feed time. And nobody thinks about all the things that go into it when somebody does that. Everyone's just like, oh, we love it, it was so great. No, it's actually killing Big Brother and feeds for all of us, and it makes me angry, and this is a comedic show, Tommy.
Yay! So I completely agree. I'm glad that we covered that because that was one of the lowest moments of the season for me.
You know what we need to do to cleanse the show, Tommy?
Tell me.
We need to show some of Tommy teaching dancing.
Yay! Oh my gosh,
Fun moments with Tommy in the house dancing. I saw a lot of people asking, did you like getting to bring that into the house? Did you like getting to bring your Broadway background, like what you do for a living and stuff, and teach that and spread that around the house? That must have been a lot of fun for you.
It was so fun. It was, it's who I am. It's what I do in my everyday life also. But it was also part of my strategy. I wanted to make the house guests have fun. I wanted to be the fun, crazy, exciting one that is keeping everyone busy. That was part of my strategy. It was part of my social game to do all these things. The hardest day of the week, scheduling wise, was Wednesday because it's, on Tuesday and Wednesday, we're locked inside with nothing to do. There are no competitions. There's no backyard. So we only have each other. And at that point, you kind of know what's going to happen. You know who's on the block. Everything's set in stone. So on Wednesdays would be our day to try and do something fun. Right. We did the dance on the Wednesday. We did the fashion show on Wednesday. We had done Holly's made up a song that happened on Wednesday. There was tons of stuff that would always happen on Wednesday. We did. It was always something new going on, but that was part of my strategy too. Granted, it's who I am. It really is. But I would be lying if I said that it wasn't
right.
A little calculated as well.
All right, so we finally have my questions back up. We were having a technical issue with them, but they're back now. I have your questions for you, Tommy. Tommy, so Love's DMB is saying that you would have gone after Jackson at the Final Four, which you did just say that yes, that would happen. But is there who would you have voted for if it was Jackson versus Nicole in the end?
That's a question. I really don't know. It would have depended on Nicole's speech.
Oh.
I think that Jackson is, well, first of all, this is assuming that I would have gotten to the Final Four, or this is assuming that the big fat lie would have worked, because that was a big factor in my decision of voting for Jackson. Once I realized that his lie worked and that it got me evicted, I realized that he is such a well-rounded player. He's not just a physical competitor. He's the whole package.
Right.
So it would have been hard for anyone to beat him in the final two once I was evicted. But Nicole had the best shot in my mind. I loved Nicole's game. I love Nicole as a person. She is the underdog. She fought for so long since the beginning. She was on the outskirts for a large majority of the game. And she's somebody that I would have loved to have seen take that money home, take the title home. But I love the game so much. So I don't know. It depends. If you take away the big fat lie that Jackson got away with getting me out, then he's just a physical competitor, or not just, but that's what he is, known for.
Right.
And it's still incredible, but it would have depended on their speeches. Nicole would have had a shot had I been kept, and should been sitting in the final two with Jackson. She would have definitely had a shot at my vote.
If it was the three of you, so let's say it worked out that way and it was you, Nicole, and Cliff, and you were the decider of who to bring, would you have brought Nicole?
I really don't know who I would have brought, because Cliff was, Cliff made more enemies, I think, throughout the game. Nicole and I had similar relationships with people in the house, that we were playing good social games, and so was Cliff too. But Cliff had ruffled a little more feathers than Nicole had. So, and I really don't know. Like, it would have depended how the rest of the game would have panned out.
Right.
I think I probably would have taken Nicole, though, to be honest with you. I'm not really sure, though. It's a really tough decision. It's tough to say at this point.
I respect that answer. I respect that answer more than people that are like, of course I would have protected Nicole.
No, I don't know, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would have done. I would have, my gut tells me that I would have wanted to take Nicole, but in that moment, I don't know if that would have been the best game decision. I really could see it going either way.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought, until talking to you guys and hearing what a lot of people from jury were saying, I really thought Nicole could have won against anybody. So, I mean, it turns out I'm wrong.
No, I think that she definitely could have. I think that was the whole point, that if I would have taken her, it would have been, I think, harder to beat her. So,
yeah,
I think why I don't know if I would have taken her.
Well, I want to take a question from Lost and Concrused over on Twitter, who wants to know, Tommy, which was a bigger relief for you, Christy entering the house or Christy being evicted?
Definitely not Christy entering the house. That was really stressful. When I saw her walk into the house, I blacked out. I don't remember anything from the rest of the day. It was terrifying to know that it's so scary I wanted to play this game for years and years and years, as long as I can remember. And now I was finally getting the chance, and it was my moment And then Christy comes in, and I'm like, oh my God, my whole entire game is to shift right now. Everything that I thought I was going to do went out the window, and I completely had to adapt. And that was terrifying. That was frightening.
Right.
The truth is, Christy and I, before we went into the house, our history, yes, Christy and I are great. But she used to date someone in my family. She used to date my aunt. They broke up.
Right.
So it was tricky. It wasn't like we were best friends going into this house. And I'm such a family guy. I was thinking about my family the whole entire time. It was really, really stressful starting out the game with her. Once we got into the swing of things, I began to really trust her. And then she was my plus one. And, I look at it there are two ways to look at things. Was Christy being in the game good for my game or not is something that people keep asking me. On one hand, I see why it was a negative because she did have a bigger target on her back. We played very different games. She was very vocal. We didn't nest the same people, and that got in the way at times. But on the other hand, she was a bigger target that I was working alongside. Ultimately, the house decided to take the shot at her before me. So maybe working with her really wasn't that bad for my game after all because, people saw her as the bigger threat as opposed to me. And to be honest with you, I thought that I was the bigger threat. So it could have worked out in my benefit also. If she wasn't there, I could have been seen as a bigger target before earlier on. And I could have been voted out earlier on.
Yeah.
So it's really just to look at it. But I was really sad when she was evicted. It was really hard to be in the house by myself. The whole entire game, Christy was saying to me, you are my anchor, Tommy. You keep me sane. But if you look at the way that things panned out, I kind of lost myself when she left the house. In reality, she was my anchor as well. And having her there did make a difference. It didn't start off that way. It really did come from a place of fear at first. I was terrified to be working with her, to be in that house with her. And I ran away from her and I, was just walking on eggshells the whole entire summer. But in the end, once she left, it really was really tough to be without her in that house.
Tommy, you would say, she can always look at you and see home.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It is so much fun for us. I realize I am totally having a big ego right now. But, we would do daily live feed update shows every single day. And we would have all the clips from the feeds, which you guys can go back and watch on our website. But you guys know, your week was done in, 3 days. But then people aren't getting shows for 5 or 6 days. And it just seemed like every clip that we pulled, we did a whole thing on, when you look at me, you can see home. And then sure enough, 5 days later, that was the big thing. I just loved it. I loved how much I feel like so many people, not just us, were on the pulse of these are what are going to be the moments of the season even before they aired. So I definitely love that. And going back to what you said really quickly, I kind of thought, everyone thinks that you guys were cast and that you were just going to work together and it was going to be great. Pre-season, I was like, I don't know. Tommy is Italian and I am as well, even though I don't look it. So I know he's very family oriented. And obviously gay, which we know the stereotypes that us gays get sometimes. I was like, maybe they're hoping you guys are going to go at each other. You don't mess with my family. You broke up with my aunt. Now we're in the house together. I thought that's what production wanted. I thought they wanted you two going at each other all season, not actually working. Because I also feel lesbians are crazy, Tommy.
Eric, I love you.
They're angry. They're angry all the time. I'm sorry. And if you have a problem with it, you can tweet at Maximus Mom. She takes my complaints.
I gotta say, I love the lesbians. I really respond to. It's funny because in all my pre-show interviews, they were asking, "Who's your favorite house guest? Who do you respond to? Who do you like?" And the people that I named all have, I think, a lot in common. I named Avon, Jess Graham, Caitlin. I think those were like my big three that I named. These are people that I probably would have been trying to work with if I was in their season. They're all intuitive women
Right.
who speak their mind and are badass bitches. Can I say bitches on here? Yeah, right?
Yes,
okay.
Go ahead.
That's great. They're all just badass bitches that know what's going on in the house. And that, I think, was Christy. She didn't always know what was going on. Sometimes she got a little paranoid, but I honestly think that I would have gravitated towards her even if I didn't know her. I think that she's just that kind of person that I would want to align with. She takes control, and I like that. I really do.
I want to say thank you to the chat because sometimes we get new people on these shows. Thank you for understanding that was a joke and I don't really hate lesbians. Thank you for getting it. It's all just jokes here, people. But I do have, speaking of badass bitches, I have a question from Becca, currently #1 fan. And a lot of people, I'm sure you're probably sick of hearing this. But Becca wants to know, when exactly will your brother be taking Nicole out?
Oh my goodness. This is so funny because here's the thing. I'm just going to lay it all out in the line. I'm addressing it.
Oh, no.
He's the greatest person I've ever met in my life. He is incredible. I love him. I love him. I love him. What were you going to say? What?
Oh, no.
Has he been on the show and I don't even know? No. Do you know? What?
No, sometimes your Skype freezes for a minute, so we miss a little bit. We didn't hear the first thing that you said. You froze just for a minute. So go ahead. I'll let you do it again.
My brother is truly my favorite person in the world.
Yeah.
And, it's so funny to get out and see all this stuff about the two of them that people are responding to it.
Right.
I know Nicole, too, after spending all this time with her, and they're very similar. And I do think that they would be good friends at the very least. Who knows what will happen? Maybe they'll meet and fall in love. Maybe they'll meet and be best friends. Maybe they'll meet and hate each other. Who knows? But I know that both of them are probably feeling a little awkward right now with all the stuff that's going on.
Right, Tommy.
And not wanting to say anything to the other one.
Right, Tommy. Maybe you misunderstood the question. Let me explain to you how we're going to handle the situation. I live 5 minutes away from Nicole, okay? So I got Nicole. I'm going to trick her, I can drug her, throw her in a trunk. You are going to need to figure out a way to get your brother somewhere, and then we'll just lock him in a hotel room, because that's apparently what the fans want.
Honestly, they really would be the best match ever. I really do think it. I stand by it. I said it in the house. I say it outside the house. They're so similar, just the way that they communicate with other people, the way that they carry themselves in life. The way that America fell in love with Nicole is the way that my family loves my brother. He's a gem. He's that person in the family.
And didn't vote for you, and you're okay with that.
Yeah, because I get it. I wouldn't have voted for me either, I guess.
I have to say this, and a special shout out to your family. I don't know why they don't have their own show. I watched a lot of their Instagrams during the season. People would always keep sending me clips of them talking on the show. I think you labeled them perfectly when you said dysfunctioning functionals. Was that it? Yeah.
The functioning dysfunctional. Somehow you get by, you never know how it happens.
I was just I've just found myself watching, laughing and being I don't know what I'm watching.
Well, they're nuts. I'm obsessed with them. Obsessed. My family is my everything.
Yeah.
I can't wait to go home and hang out with them. And there's gonna be a lot more. Once I get home, we're gonna make our own TV show on my Instagram. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But whatever it is that we do in the future, you mentioned a TV show. Mm-hmm. I want it to happen. I want to showcase them to the world because I'm proud to be a part of this family. They're the best.
We live in a wonderful time, Tommy. Look here. You can produce anything you want and put it out to the world. But yeah, I know. Wow. You're not going to get paid for it, though. So. Let me take another question. Lana K wants to know, Tommy, what do you think that BB21 will be remembered for? So if you could pick what BB21 is remembered for, what would you want it to be remembered for?
My guess is that It's so hard to say because I haven't watched the season yet. I'm on episode 8. I'm loving it so far.
Mm-hmm.
I think I could see it being remembered for a few things. Number one, Jackson, his gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, Nicole. America loves her, and so do I, and I'm totally here for it.
Mm-hmm.
Number three, I would hope that this wouldn't be the answer, but I might have to say the controversy. From what I'm seeing, there's a lot of it, and
there was.
It sucks to be a part of that season, but it's what it is. So you asked me, what do I think will be remembered by? I think it's Jackson, Nicole, and the controversy, to be honest with you. I hope that that's not true. I hope that goes away in time, because I think that there were, I don't know, here's the thing too. Coming clean, I never watched the live feeds before.
Right.
I say that I'm a fan, and I know that I've gotten some backlash on that too. And I understand why, because I wish that I watched at least one season of the live feeds before I went into the house. That's my biggest regret, actually.
Yeah.
My number one regret is that I didn't watch a season of live feeds before I went in the house.
Mm-hmm.
What was the original question? I forgot where I was going with this.
The original
the live feeds, I didn't watch them.
I don't remember what the original.
Oh yeah, what will you be remembered for? Thanks, Adam.
There
okay,
you go.
Cool. So I just think that there was when you're in the game. Oh, okay. Now I remember what I was going to say. So, but I watched the show for years and years and years, and you don't always see how big of gamers all of the contestants are when you watch just the show on CBS.
Mm-hmm.
This season, I was in a house full of gamers.
Right.
Every single person was gaming hard. And I loved being a part of that season. That's how I'm going to remember the season, is that I was in a season with a house full of hardcore gamers.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be because I don't watch the live feeds, but I haven't gotten that impression from the contestants in the past. Sometimes there are people that don't take it as seriously, that don't love Big Brother as much. We saw a lot of super fans in the house this year, people that were very vocal about being major fans of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I'm going to remember the show. I hope that other people can remember it that way too. I don't know if that's how they saw it, but that's how I see it.
Well, I want to give you a chance to address one of the, more controversial moments that had to do with you, because I want you to have the ability to say what you want to say about it. We saw on finale night, they were talking about, the bullying of Nicole from the HOH room. And I think a lot of what I saw on Twitter, or I guess what the thing was that people didn't necessarily like that I think you did, is there was a lot of you cheering when it was happening. So what do you want to say about that situation, or what you were thinking, or what your mindset was in that?
So my mindset in that moment, here's the thing, I align myself with Grateful. We all aligned together. And Grateful won 13 out of 16 HOHs throughout the game. They did it. Grateful as an alliance, we were a strong alliance in terms of the game. And we came there to win. We all came there to win. So I can't say that I regret aligning with those people. These people who are also amazing. There's so many sides to people. There's so much going through your head when you're in that house. We've all done things that we regret. We all have done things that we wish we could take back. But I know that every single person in that house is an amazing person, and I really do love them all. So I don't regret aligning with that team. I think that they were really extremely strong, and I think that it was, the right move at that time. Now, here's the thing with Brother. America has all the information.
Right.
We don't have all the information.
Right.
I will never forget that moment. I don't know what they showed. I didn't even get up to it yet. That's that episode. What is it? Episode 10, I think it is, right?
Maybe.
I'm not sure. Episode 10. I haven't gotten up to it yet. I'm on number 8. Maybe I will feel completely different about this when I watch it. But I remember going up to the HOH room right after nominations. Nick had just finished noms. He nominated Kemi and Jess. And I just check in with him because I loved I'm an extremely loyal person, so I made a promise to those 8 people in the beginning of the game, and I was going to stick by it as long as I could. I'm getting made fun of a lot for that too, that I wouldn't let 6 shooters go. That's who I am. That's the kind of person I am. And so when Nick and Bella were on the outskirts at some point, I wasn't as gung-ho. I was trying to find a way to bring them back in and bring us all together. That was my intention all along. That's what I would have wanted. I would have wanted to stick with the 8 of us, because really, if we would have stuck to the 8, we would have gotten there together. We could have done that. We were so strong, and I believed in us. So I come up to the HOH room. Bella grabs my face and she says, "Tommy, tell me the truth. Nicole just told us that you guys are not working with us." I forget exactly what she said, how she put it, but she gave me some information, Bella, that Nicole had shared with her.
Okay.
And I knew that Nicole had been sharing information with Christy, Sis, and Holly as well. I actually walked in on that conversation.
Right.
So at that moment, I connected that Nicole was feeding information to both sides. And that is what was driving us apart. So I spoke up and said, no, this is a misunderstanding. Nicole is trying to drive us apart. She is feeding the information to both of us, and it's pinning us against each other. There are cracks in this alliance, and we need to fill them back up. This is strictly game, too.
Right.
Now, what I didn't know is that Nicole was telling the truth about the information that she was giving. In that moment, I thought she was lying, that she was creating lies to pin us against each other. She was trying to pin us against each other, but she was telling the truth while doing so.
Right.
So in that moment, when we shut the door and told her not to come into that HOH, I think immediately after I told Bella, it just so happens that Christy, Sis, and Holly were upstairs in the game room area, so Nick had called them in, and they confirmed that what I said was true, because it was true. Nicole was feeding them that information. So I was, then what you saw, it led to that whole eruption, that whole blow-up, that we were keeping Nicole out of the room. We did not want her in there because we thought we caught her. We thought we caught the snake. In that moment. That's what we believe to be the truth. Right. So, it's really tough, because I have looked back and seen videos, and it does break my heart that I was a part of that. I'm not proud. I love Nicole. Nicole and I became so close. Nicole was my +1. She was my best friend the last week that I was in the house. We spent a lot of time together, and I know that she believed me the whole time, and I know that she wanted me there. I know that it was Cliff that pushed her to the other way, and that's okay. That's strictly game. I'm okay with that. But on a personal level, I'm obsessed with Nicole. I was the whole entire game, and I know that she believes that, and that's the most important thing to me. In that moment, I think that was on day 24, that blow up. In that moment, I believed that she was the snake. And I thought, from a game point of view, I was making the right decision, and I was celebrating the alliance coming back together and not letting it pull us apart. So I'm not proud of the way it looks. I'm not proud that I didn't believe her in that moment. And I never want to be seen as a bully. That's not who I am. I'm not a bully. I'm not. I'm not proud to be a part of that, and I have apologized to Nicole, and I love Nicole, and Nicole and I are good, and that is enough for me. I'm grateful to be on this, even shows like yours, to get the opportunity to tell people, because I want people to know where I was coming from. I want them to know where my head is at. I want them to know that I love Nicole and that I never wanted to bully her. That was never my intention. My intention was to get as far as I could in this game with the people that I was working with, to stay loyal to them. And in that moment, that I did what I thought was best. And then, I know for a fact that fast forward a day or two later, I was cast as the mediator role somehow. I started watching all these conversations that Nicole and Bella and Nicole and Nick were having, and they wanted me there to just kind of moderate what was going on. They saw me as someone who was coming from a fair place.
Right.
And it was in that moment that I realized that Nicole was telling the truth, and
Mm-hmm.
that I believe that, Christy and I, and along with others too, but we were a big part of us wanting to flip the vote and evict Cliff, was that we did believe Nicole,
Right.
and that we did want to stand up for her, and we did want to stand up for what was right. I know that there are a lot of people in that house that I love so much, and integrity was an important part to so many of my friends' games. And I think that the vote flip, yes, there were other things to it. We saw Cliff as a strong player. We saw Nick and Bella as, flighty at that point. So there was that aspect to it. But really, where it really stemmed from, in my opinion, I know at least for me, is that we believed in Nicole and we wanted to stand up for her. So that's where my head's at with this whole entire Nicole bully thing. The most important thing to me is that Nicole believes me, and Nicole is good with me, and we're great. So I hope you can be too, America.
Well, yes, all of America watches this show, and hopefully will become patrons. Here's what I want to say, Tommy, because I loved that was your answer, because I can tell you what I know from, we had tons of live feed updaters all season. I'm always looking at Twitter. I think the frustration that people feel about it is they feel like people aren't being honest. Like, people were saying they were protecting Nicole by keeping her out and stuff. So it makes complete sense to me. Yes, you would be cheering in that moment because you thought that you just caught the person causing the trauma in your alliance. And the part that everybody leaves out of the story, like you said, was you were also the one that afterwards, when you found out, pushed to keep her. So I always just try and remind people that there's like the whole scope of that story. I know a lot of people just zoom in on the one part in regards to you, in regards to how they feel about you in that moment. And I see chat is agreeing as well with that. So I think it makes complete sense to me. I am glad that you were able to express it like that. And here's what else I want to say. Are you, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, and it is totally fine if you're okay, but will you perform a number? No, it's not what I was going to ask. Because you're such a good talker, Tommy, we're not getting through a lot of your questions at all. So I want to fire, like, we could do it either way. Like, I don't know if do you have a little more time? Can you stay a little bit longer if we want to go through some more questions? Or I can give you them and you can try and...
Well, we could do some rapid fire. That sounds good to me.
All right.
Let's go for it.
You
I'll try and
just...
speak up.
Okay, you just need, yes. But I mean, I think that's great. I don't think that there's a lot of other, like, I wanted to not say that to you before we talked about things that I knew people wanted to get more in depth on. But now, that being said, let's go to Melanie, who wants to know, Tommy, why did you sleep upstairs instead of staying downstairs to be in the know? You kind of isolated yourself a little bit that last week and allowed people to make plans around you.
Yep. I love that question. The reason why I wanted to sleep upstairs is because I wanted Cliff and Nicole to see that I was isolated, to know that I was by myself. Holly and Jackson, I wanted to highlight that they were a duo. So I thought by sleeping upstairs by myself, it would show them that I have nobody. And if they take me, I can be with them. Mm-hmm. I wanted them to feel like I wasn't a part of it, and that they would be responsible for taking me in, and therefore I would be with them. And again, it's the truth. If they would have done that, I would have been with them. But I wanted to separate myself on purpose to let them know that I am alone. I can be a number for you.
Perfect. Little Nickette02 wants to know, Tommy, how shocked were you when Nicole came up to you so quickly after winning BB Comics and told you that she wanted to save you?
That was probably one of the most shocking moments for me throughout the whole entire game. Mm-hmm. I did not expect that at all. At all. It made sense. and I was so happy to hear her say that. But I just didn't expect it for some reason. I don't know why, but you know what it was?
Mm-hmm.
After Nicole took the shot at Christy and I really believed that, because before that, I believed that I was really good with Nicole. That like I love Nicole, not loved, but love Nicole, and I really thought that we were good, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So once she chose to evict Christy, take the shot at Christy and I was just so shocked that I thought I thought that's where her true colors. I thought that the relationship that we had,
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a lie. I thought it wasn't true. And it wasn't until the moment that she came up to me in BB Comics or after BB Comics that I was like, okay, it really was an individual thing. She does, like, everything that we have is real.
Right.
And that it took her coming up to me for me to trust her fully again.
Perfect.
And it was in that was like, I'm not going back. Like, this is my girl. Like, I love her.
Okay. MacNugget BB21 says, Tommy, were you really ready to evict Christy after Taco Tuesday? Or no? Were you really ready to evict Christy after Taco Tuesday? Or was there any situation that you could have seen yourself evicting Christy in the house?
I could have evicted Christy, but I could have never been the deciding vote.
Okay.
Everybody was going to evict Christy. I would get on board with that.
Okay.
As hard as it was for me too. Can you hear me? Did I cut out for a second?
You did, but you're good. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I would have voted to evict Christy if everybody else was, which is why in the next week you see that it was Christy and Nick on the block, and I was the deciding vote.
Mm-hmm.
Or my vote really mattered that week at least, and that's why I couldn't vote to evict Christy in that week. And the truth is, if anybody else in the house at that point was up against Nick, mm-hmm. I would have voted to keep Nick.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, let me take a quick question. You got this from a lot of people. I'm going to take it from Sethi over on Twitter wants to know, what have your Broadway fans thought about you being on Big Brother?
I'm sorry, I'm getting, like, it's so, I love my friends so much, the Broadway community. They were so supportive, and it was so amazing to get out of the house and see that.
Right.
I love them so much. What do they think about it? They were proud of me, and they were so excited for me, and they were watching, and I mean, the amount of people that have reached out to me from the Broadway community, people that don't watch Big Brother always, the people that reached out to me, it was amazing. It was so overwhelming. It was so cool. All the Broadway media outlets had released articles that I was going to be on the show. Broadway shows had released videos of them wishing me luck on when the show first started. It was I didn't expect that, and it was the coolest thing. I really love Broadway so much, and I hope that I get to do another Broadway show one day.
Right.
But I mostly just can't wait to get home and see my Broadway friends.
Right. I just love that Lindsay makes other people cry besides me. Lori Star wants to, you actually got this from a lot of people. I'm going to take it from Lori. She wants to know, would you ever play this game again?
Okay, yeah, I would. 1,000%. I would go back in the house right now. I love this game.
Would you ever do Amazing Race?
Yes, absolutely.
Who would you do it with if it was somebody from Big Brother and somebody from your real life?
Oh, love that question. I think first of all, I love Jack so much. Like, I think he and I had talked about doing the Amazing Race together for a long time. Jack and I make a great team. When we were first starting off the game, when we first found each other, the way that we communicate is we communicate in a very similar way that I know we would work very well together.
Right.
I would love to do the Amazing Race with him. I would also love to do the Amazing Race with Christy. Christy is she's kind of my everything. I'm even more obsessed with her now that we've gone through this experience than I ever was. And I know that, people see us as a duo, and I love that. I think that we complement each other in so many ways. I think that it would be so cool to play a competition together without having to keep our relationship a secret.
Right.
So I would love to just, you saw Christy be very vocal this season. I'm also very vocal, and I was outgoing on the show, but I wasn't as vocal as I necessarily would have been in fear of my relationship with Christy. But if you put the two of us on a show and everyone knows that we know each other, I would love to do that as well. And then in terms of somebody who is not in the Big Brother world that I would love to do the show with is my brother. I mean, my brother is my best friend. He's amazing. He's the male version of Nicole. So I know America would love him. He is truly an angel, honestly. And he's a genius. And he's my little brother. He's 4 years younger than me, but he's a foot taller than me. And in so many ways, I look up to him. I think that he is an amazing person. And I would love to do the show with him if they wanted to keep it in the family.
I love it. As Survivor, would you do it?
Absolutely. Love it.
And the challenge. And the challenge, would you do it?
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
I learn a little bit more about it. I don't know anything about it, but I really am a big fan of CBS at this point, and I would love to stick with them.
You should ask Jackson about it. Just don't ask him in front of Holly. Now, if that's a joke, which you would have had to see in the feeds again. Okay. A lot of people are asking, do you feel that Big Brother was trolling you with your punishment costume?
Oh my gosh, so many punishments. It was insane. I gotta say, when you watch the show, you don't realize how horrible these punishments really are. They're really, really horrible. Like, when I was Pink for Poison Ivy, I was so uncomfortable that I really, I wanted to rip my skin off. It was horrible. Like, when I think about it, I just start cringing again just thinking about it. And then as the Rocket, my neck was killing me. My neck was killing me. It was rough. Wasn't even the waking up in the middle of the night. But actually, even waking up in the middle of the night, here's the thing. You wake up in the middle of the night, sure, but you actually can't even fall asleep because you're so anxious about being woken up.
Right.
So you get zero sleep for a week. You have to carry a heavy helmet on your neck. My neck was killing me. It was horrible. It was pretty horrible. But I'm glad it happened. I'm glad I did it.
I mean, the costume, though. Did you ever think, what are the gifts gonna be? I'm just gonna say it because I don't know that anyone's gonna. They made you look like a big penis, Tommy. It looked like you were dressed up like a big penis. All anybody was doing was taking screen grabs, and it looked like there was a big penis in the house. There's a big penis in the corner. Oh, there's a penis flying around over here. That was not a rocket, Tommy, is what I'm saying. I think they were trolling you, is what we're pointing out. Do you need to see it again? Here you go. See? Look. I mean, what are those things on the side? Oh, those are fins. Yeah, they looked interesting. I'm just saying.
It's a penis that kicks. That's so funny.
I think they might have been trolling you, Tommy.
So funny. My mind just didn't go there, honestly. But people were saying to me in the house that you do look like a penis. But yes. They probably were trolling me, I guess.
Yes. Well, depending on who said it, it might have been for another reason.
Was Nick.
Well, look, don't even. I grilled Nick on that foot massage.
Don't get me started. I love him. I'm obsessed with him.
Okay, well, I was not obsessed with the foot massage that people made me watch, Tommy.
Oh my gosh, I was obsessed with it.
Okay, if you are good, wait. Here is a perfect reaction that I had to watching that clip. I was like this, Tommy.
Honestly, I was too, though. That's not me to
no, it was very funny. It was funny. Nick was. I felt bad when I brought it up on the Nick show because I was like, "Oh, I think I embarrassed Nick. Now I feel bad." Okay. What?
He's totally here for it. He loves it.
Oh, I felt bad. Okay, whatever. We can talk about it later. Rachel Ann wants to know, what Broadway show would be your dream Broadway show to do?
I love The Lion King. I love the role of Timon. I think he's so funny. I think that he has an accent. He's the funny guy. And I think that it's kind of similar to who I am. Mm-hmm. So I think that it would be really fun to get to play that part one day. And I've never really played a part, like a speaking role on Broadway. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that I would have to be acting. I wouldn't have to be playing a character necessarily. In the cartoon, it was originally played by Nathan Lane, and I feel like I am a younger version of him. So I feel like that it would be a good role for me. It would be a good fit. So love Lion King.
Okay. You got a bunch of people asking. I'm going to take it from Courtney J. Did you choose to tell Holly and Jackson about Christy because of the way they kept bashing her? That's what like a lot of us were thinking when we were watching it. Or was it more about you were trying to get ahead of it?
I was telling Holly and Jackson. First of all, I operated from a place I never wanted to say anything out loud in that house that I wasn't okay with everyone hearing about.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that there was a chance that Holly and Jackson could use that information against me, so I knew that I was going to have to tell Cliff and Nicole immediately after I did it. I had been thinking about revealing the secret for, I think it was like a day and a half before I actually did. Mm-hmm. And there was some strategy behind it. Ultimately, I don't think it was the best decision, but I did have game in mind when I decided to tell them. It wasn't just emotional. It was emotional because it was really hard for me to hear them say all that stuff about Christy. But in that moment, once Christy left, I learned that she was everyone's number one target, that everyone was not a fan and that they wanted her out for a long time. And I wanted to explain to them the position that I was in, why I made the decisions that I did. And I wanted them to hear it from my point of view. I wanted them to know that I am an honest person, that it was killing me to keep the secret. As soon as she left, I told the secret. And that I am different from her. That was the big thing, that I wanted them to feel like I am different from Christy. And that, yes, we were in a duo. Yes, I took her off the block twice. But now you know why I did it, because I'm a family guy, and Christy was a part of my family for so long. And now that she's gone, I can work with you guys, is kind of where what was going through my head at that moment.
BB fan Lisa 24 wants to know, what was your aunt's reaction to seeing both of you on Big Brother? You got this from a lot of people too. So has your aunt said anything about watching you two be on it together?
She didn't watch, actually.
Oh, she didn't. Oh, really?
Yeah, I understand.
Oh, I guess that does make sense.
It was basically a divorce what they went through.
Yeah.
7 years. They had a house together. It was a big deal, and I can't imagine. I don't think I would have watched either if I was her. That all I was thinking about in the first few weeks, not just the first few weeks, pretty much the whole time, was her.
Right.
I love my aunt so much. She's my number one. And I had to, work with her ex-girlfriend, and that's really, really hard. So, like I said, I'm in California. I haven't seen my aunt. But once I get home, I plan on just taking her out to lunch and just being the two of us and having some us time, and, just taking care of our relationship, because it's definitely taken a toll, I think, this summer because of this position that we were both in.
Right. I am really sorry that BB fan Lisa asked such a horribly rude question and ruined the end of the show, Lisa.
Oh, she's amazing, BB fan Lisa.
I didn't even think, but that is true. I think a lot of people, even myself as someone, didn't just reads them and doesn't even think that, that probably was very emotional. I can't even imagine what that would be like. Ellie 65824 wants to know, what was one of your favorite songs that you made up?
Oh my gosh, I love the songs. Probably Morning Poop. I love, I know. Am I allowed to say
Poop? Yeah.
No, not poop, but can I say all right, we made up one song about a baby being born, and it was called Push from the Vag.
Oh, yeah, you can say vag.
Okay, I can say vag. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. So Push from the Vag. It's inspired by Donna Summer's I Feel Love. It's got an 80s vibe. It's amazing. And that's definitely my favorite song that we came up with.
Are you going to take these songs on tour?
Absolutely. I will be creating an album, so look out for it on Spotify.
Okay, perfect. BB Hyde wants to know, what did you think of Jack's rule of no talking to the camp comeback people?
You know, I think that game-wise it made sense, but I don't think that it really worked out. I think that it was smart for the people that were still left in the game, all of them, because the camp comebackers could have really used this twist. Had that not been said, had that rule not been put into place, the camp comebackers could have really turned that house upside down.
Mm-hmm.
And do I think it was, Jack brought up the idea of us all not speaking game with the camp comebackers, but it was all of us that voted for the rule to be in place.
Right.
Jack may have initiated it, but we all voted for it. And I understand why we all voted for it. From a game point of view, we were still in the game. They weren't. And they could have messed up any one of our games if we were all talking game with them.
Right.
Any one of us could have been the next victim because of their gameplay. So I think that it was a game decision, and I think that it makes sense. I do.
Okay. Now, your last two questions are not going to be easy for you to answer quickly. I just want to say you failed at answering any of those quickly. No, it is. I love it. We just proof that we have to have you on to answer more questions, Tommy. But so first, I want to take this one from Jezebel JIC, who says, "Hey Tommy, I was live feed updater all season." She's one of the people updating you guys 24/7. And my son Zane is a thespian and about to be in The Living Dead and also the musical Peter Pan. Can you give any advice to, the younger generations on how to be successful since he is your number one fan? And his name is Zane.
Oh my gosh, I love this. Okay, so first of all, you were cutting out a little bit. I'm sorry, but I think I got you back. But I heard the question.
Okay.
Zane, right?
Yeah.
Zane. The biggest thing that I learned, and there's some clips flying around on the internet of me saying this in the house, but I'll say it again. The biggest thing that I've learned throughout my life as a performer is that being successful is not about being the best necessarily. You cannot compare yourself to other people around you. You have to look inside yourself and find what makes you unique, find what makes you special, what makes you different. And instead of hiding it, instead of trying to push it away and be the same as everyone else, be better than everyone else, highlight what makes you different, highlight what makes you special. Mm-hmm. It's once you've realized what you have to offer is amazing, that's when I started to really succeed in the business and started to book work. I am short. I have this thick accent. I have this very specific, rambunctious, outrageous energy, and that's who I am. Mm-hmm. I'm never going to play the serious guy in a show. It's just never going to happen. And that's okay. Mm-hmm. Because when I am right for a role, I'm going to be really right for that role. And no one's going to book it over me. Okay. And the same goes for every single person. Every one of us have something different and special to offer. I think being successful is learning what that is, doing some soul searching, and highlighting that, showing it off, being proud of it, confidence.
Perfect. I'm sure Zane and a lot of people were actually asking, ask Tommy for advice on how we can become successful like he is. So I love that. You know what I want to do? I'm going to give you full screen to say what it is you want to say to your fans. But let me just remind everybody again, really quickly, make sure you guys head over to our Instagram, follow that, make sure that you're following us on Instagram at Reality Recaps, or if you need a quick way to get there, yourrealityrecaps.com/Instagram will take you right to our page. Just follow us there to be entered to win the Nicole unicorn slippers. We'll be giving them away very soon, in 2 days, the 10th of October. Also, you guys are watching live now on YouNow. Make sure you fan here so you're alerted every time we go live. This is where the house guest shows will be, so you want to make sure that you are fanned here. It is totally free to watch live and chat. Yes, you can subscribe here as well if you want. That gives you access to every single show immediately. You don't have to wait for me to post it anywhere, and you get to watch our literally probably 5,000 shows over the past 5 years that we have here. We don't post them on the website, the You Now shows, unless there is a house guest or it's a recap show. But you can go watch all the other ones back and be part of those. Of course, we're also live on TV Co. Every single day doing recap shows as well. So make sure you follow us over there. We're covering Survivor, Bravo, The Challenge. It's totally free to follow us over there as well, and you have access to the chat while we are live. So make sure you guys do those completely for free. And if you want to support our shows, like I said, yourrealityrecaps.com/patron to get access to the patron-only Facebook group, prize giveaways, weekly shows, after shows with the house guest, John's cooking shows, meal kit giveaways, other special prizes just for patrons. It's a great way to financially support these shows. If you've enjoyed them, you could also do a one-time donation at yourrealityrecaps.com/PayPal, or if you have any Amazon shopping to do, yourrealityrecaps.com/Amazon. But of course, that's just for the people that really love us with money. You don't have to love us with money. You can love us for free by just making sure that you thumbs up and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Comment below, click the bell, 5-star rating and a nice review on iTunes is so helpful. Sharing our content across all social media is just so helpful, putting it in places where people might not normally see it. I can't thank you guys enough for doing that. Without you, we all can't keep this show going. So I thank you to everybody that supports it. It truly has been a joy to do it these past almost 10 years now. That being said, Tommy, I stole the spotlight from you, now you go. What do you want to say to everyone that came out here tonight to see you?
Wow. Oh my gosh. I just want to say thank you to everyone, to all the fans of the show. You know, I am one of you. I am just a fan. I've auditioned for this show 5 times, I think it was, 4 or 5 times, and I wasn't cast. And every time I was heartbroken, but every year I kept coming back. I'm a fan of Big Brother. I love this game. I think it's fascinating. I think it's a social experiment, and I've done cool things in my life, but I'm the most proud of being a part of this experience, because this is more than just talent. This is who you are. I got to do something amazing, and it got to it came from who I am. It didn't come from something that I do necessarily. So I just want to say thank you to all the fans for supporting. I also want to say to any fans out there that have a dream of being on Big Brother like I did, it took me a while, and I kept fighting, and it did happen, and that could happen for you too. So if you have a dream of being on Big Brother, go get your butt to all those open calls, fight for it, look up who to send emails to, who to send videos to, whatever it is, do whatever you have to do whatever it takes to get there. And if it's meant to be, then it will happen. But, this experience is the hardest thing that I've ever done, and it's the best thing I've ever done. So thank you, everybody.
I love that, and I have to say, nobody can deny, we saw you those last few days in the house. You were such a fan of the show, and that will always be my takeaway from watching you, is it was very clear that you loved the game and you didn't want to get down on yourself, or, when it was over or towards the end, that you really loved this game. And I think that is such an amazing part of your personality. Okay, last question is from our town. He wants to know, what's something that you learned about yourself coming out of this Big Brother experience that you didn't know about yourself before you started it?
I love this question. This is amazing. So the first thing that first of all, before I did the most learning about myself before I went into the game. I think that every person has to play a different game to win. I could never play Jackson's game and win. I could never play Nicole's game and win. I had to play the best game that Tommy could play. It goes back to what I was just saying about auditioning. You have to learn what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, what makes you special, and learn how to bring that into a strategy form when you go into the Big Brother house. So I did a lot of soul searching before I went into the house. I knew that my social game was going to be my strength. As athletic as I am to an extent, but I knew that it wasn't going to be the competitions that was going to be my strong suit. I knew it was going to be my social game. So I did learn a lot about myself before I went into the house. Now, the big thing that I learned in the house, I surrounded myself in the house with people. And one by one, I lost them. And I do that in my real life too. I'm never alone. I mean, I'm literally here at my best friend's house. He's running around the apartment cleaning, and I'm doing this interview. Like, I'm never alone. I don't like to be alone. I like to be with people. And I did the same thing in the house. And you saw Jackson and Holly take a shot at my people one by one. First, it was Jack. Well, he didn't take the shot at Jack, but first Jack went. Then it was Sis. Then it was Nick, and then it was Christy. And I won. I felt like a piece of me left the house with every one of them. The last week in my last week in the house, I did the most learning about myself because it was just me.
Right.
I had no one to hide behind. And I came up with that pitch to throw the HOH, to work with Nicole and Cliff myself. I'm proud of the way that I played that last week, despite the fact that I didn't wind up staying. I did the most soul searching. I got to the core of who I am that week. It was just me that I was left with, and I'm proud of who I am. Even still today, it's so much bigger than the game. Actually, I'm proud of who I am coming out of this game. I'm proud of the game that I played. I think I played with integrity. I think I played as honest of a game as I could. I think I was loyal to my people, and that's a really hard thing to do in the Big Brother house. So I learned the most my final week, and what I learned is that I like who I am. I'm proud of who I am. I'm confident, and that's the best thing that I could walk out of this house feeling.
Well, I have to say, Tommy, I like everything about you too, minus the living in a Jersey part, because gross. But
Eric, happy to know I don't live in Jersey. I live in Staten Island.
Oh, well, that's not much better. But I'll take it because it's New York, Tommy. Look, I'm New York with you, Tommy. I'm New York with you, but maybe just tell people like Queens or like, No, I'm totally kidding. That's my joke all season but whatever. Here's what I have, a more important question for you. I swear this is really your last question, but Chad is going to kill me if I don't ask you, and this might be what I love about you more than anything else. Tommy, what's a vinyl record called?
A record, an album. What do you mean? I don't know.
It is an album. You're absolutely correct, Tommy. And that's how I say it too. Suck it, chat. Apparently we say it wrong, Tommy. Apparently we say it wrong. I can't even do it the correct way. It's I can't do it. We say, album. I agree with you, Tommy. It's album. Thank you, everybody.
I'm saying album.
No, you're saying album.
Oh, okay, got it, right. I'm saying album.
They all heard you. You can't turn on me, Tommy. That's it. Tommy's voted out. Tommy, where can...
You don't know where I'm from. What do you expect?
Well, I'm sorry. You're the one who is telling... No. Where do you want people to follow you so that they can feel like home, Tommy? Where do you want people to follow you? Let's start... Well, actually, you tell them where you want them to follow you. I have your Twitter and your Instagram above you, but for people that might be listening to the audio-only version later...
My handles for Twitter and Instagram are at Tommy Bracco.
Mm-hmm.
Just the name.
Which is so great, and thank you for making it so easy. Now, you also have people can do cameos. Your cast is big on cameos this season, right? Yeah. If people want a Tommy cameo, how do they do that?
I'm new to this cameo thing, so I don't really know. You just go to Cameo and look me up, and I'll send you a cameo back.
Okay.
That sort of.
Okay, and I don't know how much that is, but Zane, I think you might owe him some. Thank you so much, Tommy, for coming out, talking to your fans, having a fun time. Patrons, we'll see you guys in 2 minutes. Technically, we have no one on yet for tomorrow, which might be great. We might do our Survivor show tomorrow, but I was talking to Christy right before this. I believe we will be having Christy on Thursday night. So we will see all of you guys later. Thank you so much, Tommy. We hope to hear more and more and more from you again. Congratulations, Becca, the #1 fan on this show. And we will see you guys all later. Bye, everybody. Bye, guys.